long ago, as I've heard tell, there dwelt at the temple of Morinji, in the province of Kotsuki, a holy priest. About this reverend man. First, he was wrapped up in meditations and observances, and forms and doctrines. He was a great one for the sacred sutras and knew strange and mystical things. Then, he had a fine exquisite taste of his own, and nothing pleased him so much as the ancient tea ceremony of the Changnam. And, for the third thing about him, he knew both sides of a copper coin well enough, and he loved a bargain. None so pleased as he when he happened upon an ancient tea kettle lying rusty and dirty and half forgotten in the corner of a poor shop in a back street of his town. An ugly bit of old metal, said the holy man to the shopkeeper. But it will do well enough to boil my humble drop of water of an evening. I'll give you 3 rin for it. And this he did, and took the kettle home rejoicing, for it was of bronze, fine work, the very thing for the Changnam. Turned it this way and that and upside down, looked into it, tapped it with his fingernail. He smiled. A bargain, he cried, a bargain, and he rubbed his hands. He set the kettle upon a box covered with a purple cloth and looked at it for so long that at first he was fain to rub his eyes many times and then to close them altogether. His head dropped forward and he slept. Several novices were studying in the next room. And then, believe me, the wonderful thing happened. The tea kettle moved. Then a hand was near. A hairy head with 2 bright eyes looked out at the spout. The lid jumped up and down. 4 brown hairy paws appeared and a fine bushy tail. In a minute, the tea kettle was down from the box, going round and round, looking at them. A very comfortable room, to be sure, said the tea kettle, and pleased enough to find itself so well lodged, began to dance and to caper nimbly and to sing at the top of its voice. Several novices were studying in the next room. The old man is lively, they said, only hark to him, what can he be at? And they laughed into their sleeves. Heavens mercy, the noise that tea kettle made. Bang, bang, thud, thud, thud! The novices soon stopped laughing, and one of them slid aside the carry calmly and peeped through. Ah, the devil's an all in, he cried, it's the master's tea kettle turned into a badger. May the gods protect us from witchcraft, or for certain we shall be lost. And I scoured it not an hour since, said another, and fell to reciting the Holy Sutras on his knees. They laughed. I'm for a closer view of the hobgoblin. Books in a twinkling and gave chase to the tea kettle to catch it. But could they come up with it? Not a bit of it. It danced and it leapt and it flew up into the air. The novices was here and there, slipping on the mats. They grew hot, they grew breathless. Ha ha ha, laughed the tea kettle. Catch me if you can, cried the wonderful tea kettle.
Disturbing me in my holy meditations and all, he cried. Master, master, cried the novices, panting and mopping their brows. Your tea kettle is bewitched. It was a budgie, no less. And the dance it's been giving us, you'll never believe. Stuff and nonsense, said the priest. Bewitched? Not a bit of it. There it rests on its box, good quiet thing, just where I put it. Story, said the priest. I have heard of the petal that took wings to itself and flew away, parting company from the water. That is easy to be understood by any man. But a kettle that turns into a badger? No, no. To your books, my sons, and pray to be preserved from the perils of illusion. Very night, the holy man filled the kettle with water from the spring and set it on the hibachi to boil for his cup of tea. As soon as the water began to boil, "Aye, aye!" cried the tea kettle. "Aye, aye! The heat of great hell!" and lost no time at all, but leapt
the fire, quick as you please. Sorcery, cried the priest. Black magic! A devil! A devil! A devil! Mercy on me! Help! 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 He was frightened out of his wits, the dear good man. All the novices came rushing in to see what was the matter. The tea kettle is bewitched, he gasped. It was a badger. Assuredly, it was a badger. It both speaks and leaps about the room. Nay, master, said the novice. There it rests, on its box. Good quietly. And sure enough, so it did. Most reverend sir, let us all pray to be preserved from the perils of illusion. Sold the tea kettle to a tinker and got for it 20 copper coins. It's a mighty fine bit of bronze, said the priest. Mind, I'm giving it away, though I cannot tell what for. Ah, he was one for the bargain. But the tinker was a happy man, and he carried the tea kettle home. He turned it this way and that, and upside down, looked into it. A pretty piece, said the tinker, a very good bargain. When he went to bed that night, he set the kettle beside him to see it when he woke first thing in the morning. He awoke at midnight and fell to looking at the tea kettle by the bright light of the moon. Presently, it moved, though no hand was near it. Strange, said the tinker. But he was a man who took things as they came. A hairy head with two bright eyes looked out of the span. The lid jumped up and down. 4 brown and hairy paws appeared, and a fine bushy tail. It came quite close to the tinker and lay a claw upon it. Well, said the tinker, I am not wicked, said the tea kettle. No, said the tinker, but I like to be well treated. I am a badger tea kettle. So it seems, said the tinker. At the temple, they called me names and beat me and set me upon the fire. I couldn't stand it, you know. I like your spirit, said the tinker. I think I should like to settle down, you, said the tea kettle. Shall I keep you in a lacquer box, said the tinker? No, not a bit of it. Keep me with you so that we can talk now and again. I'm very fond of the pipe, and I like rice to eat and beans and sweet things. Cup of salt sometimes, said the tinker. Well, yes, now you mention it, said the tea kettle. I am willing, said the tinker. Thank you kindly, said the tea kettle. And, as a beginner, would you object to me sharing your bed? The night has turned a little chilly. Not the least in the world, said the tinker. So the tinker and the tea kettle became the best of friends. They ate and talked together. The tea kettle knew a thing or two and was very good company. award for a tea kettle, I'm out of the way, really very accomplished. I believe you, the tinker. My name is Bambuka Chakama. I am the very prince of Butter Tea Kettle. Your servant, my lord. If you take my advice in the tea kettle, you'll carry me round as a show. I really am out of the way. In my opinion, you'd make a mint of money. That would be hard work for you, my dear Bambuka. No, not at all, said the tea kettle. Let us start forthwith.
Sacred treasure, and with it half of his wealth. The tea kettle was held in wondrous fame for many a long year, and some people even worshipped it as a saint.